Welcome to Firefly. I'm doing a solo playthrough. I'm about to begin episode 1. We're over here in Ariel in our little green Firefly called Bonanza, and a couple things I want to cover off before we begin that I forgot to cover off last time, so we'll go back to our shipboard and I'll just cover that off quickly and then we'll get right into it. Okay, here we are with our shipboard. Last time I said there were no other crew available because they were all 300. I misread that and I looked here and I did have a med staff for 200, so I've added her onto the crew. And speaking of crew, the ships can have a maximum crew size of 6. So you can have your leader plus 6 crew members. So just wanted to clear that up in case didn't know about that. And now you can have 3 active jobs, and you can have 3 jobs in your hand which are inactive jobs. So that's the limit. Okay, so let's go back to the board and we'll basically start the solo playthrough. I'm looking to misbehave successfully 20 times, and that will win us the game. So let's go back to the board and start taking some turns. Okay, here we are back on the board, and like I said, we're sitting here in Ariel. That's where we started the game, and the reason I did that is because our very first job, which we're going to work our job right now, is this one here, and it says travel to Ariel. Well, we're already there, and it basically, Amandul wants to open a new branch office on Ariel, find a location and set up agreements with local travel agencies. So basically, this is just a setup job, and what we have is the needs of the job here are we need characters that total up at least 2 negotiation skill, while Saffron here has 2, as you can see right on her card. So we're able to pull off this job without a problem. And basically we're at Ariel, so we've traveled there, we started there, and it says get paid 400 plus 400 per the negotiation skill on the icons. Now we're going to have every crew member, of course, working the job, because why wouldn't I? And if I add up the total number of these icons on our crew, we have 2 on Saffron, 1 on Wash, which is a total of 3. So we're going to have $400 plus $1,200 will be $1,600. And because we have a companion bonus, Saffron is indeed a companion on there. That gives us an extra 500. So this job completed now is going to give us a total of $2,100, which is pretty awesome. However, let's not forget we have to pay our crew. So let's take a look at our crew and see what their cut's going to be. So here we are now looking at our crew, and of course the number in the bottom right hand corner is not only the cost to hire the crew for your ship, it is also the payout whenever you complete a job. So we got $2,100 for the job. Now we have to pay our crew, which totals $1,000. Now you can opt not to pay your crew if you want, and then they would get disgruntled tokens. If they ever have 2 disgruntled tokens on them, they leave you and go off and do other things. So $2,100 minus, I'm going to pay my crew $1,000. That's going to net me $1,100. So now we're sitting with a total of what do we have here? $4,100 to spend. So that's good. So that was basically a work action. We completed it. We got paid. We paid our crew. Let's go back to the map now, and I think we're going to leave that Ariel and we're going to go somewhere else. Okay, so we're back to the verse map. And what I want to do now is, so we did a work action. Remember, we're allowed to do one of each action, which is fly by, strike a deal, or work a job. So we've worked a job, now we're going to fly. So we have 6 fuel tokens. I'm going to spend 1 fuel token, which means we can do a maximum burn. And as before, our drive core lets us go 5 spaces on the board, and Wash gives us a +1 bonus. So we're able to actually go 6 spaces. So how does that work? Well, the blue tinted areas here are alliance space, and all of the amber colored on the outside is border space. And when we travel through space, we need to flip cards for each sector we go into and see if anything happens. So I'm gonna go over here to Persephone. So I'm just going to go through alliance space. So I'm going to go first movement in alliance space, And the first card, so we have what's going on in the engine room. Oh, so we got some engine trouble. Where are the space monkeys? So we need to make a breakdown check, which is the little mechanics check. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I have a total of 3 icons. One's on the medic, one's on Wash, and one is on our captain. So how do checks work? Well, that's a good thing to do right now. Let's have a look. So this says we need, if we roll between 1 and 6, we have a full stop, which means we stop. And if it's a 7+, we can keep flying. So what we're going to do here is we're going to roll the 6-sided dice, and I'll explain that. And we roll a 2. Okay, so we roll a 2 plus the 4 mechanic icons, and we end up with a total of 6. So basically, this check, we did not pass it. We come to a full stop. So we've had mechanical problems, and that kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is. So our turn ends. Now, because I moved through space, we have to get rid of one of our 20 disgruntled tokens. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to do another full burn, burning another fuel, starting up my next turn. And of course, when we do that, I will take another token out of here, put it away. And let's try to get to Persephone again. That was a bit of a bad check for us. And we get another one. And this time, it's customs inspection. And it says, prepare to be boarded. And it says, contraband and fugitives not in your stash are seized, come to a full stop. Or we can spend 1 fuel, get issued a warrant, and evade. Oh boy, I'm getting lame choices right off the bat. Okay, let them search us. We do not have any contraband or fugitives at the moment. So again, we come to a full stop. So on our mission to misbehave, we're not doing very well. So I'm just going to take a mosey action now, which means I move 1 space, don't have to spend a fuel. However, because I moved, we have to remove another token. Running out of tokens fast here, but now we've made it to Persephone without any more things happening. So what can we do at Persephone? Well, we can, now that we've flown, we can buy, deal, and we can work. So let's go over to our ship card. We'll have a look at some of our jobs and see what we want to do. So here we are back at the ship card. Now I did forget one thing. When we finish this job for Amandul, we actually flip his card over, and we can see in the upper right corner here and some text. It says Travel Hub, when solid. And when you complete a job for one of the 5 contacts in the game, you become solid with them. It says, when solid, you may load passengers and fugitives at the Space Bazaar, no limit. And we can sell him contraband for 500 and cargo for 600. And that actually goes underneath our ship card. If I can get it to go underneath here, probably. And that we are now solid with Amandul, and we have those little benefits. So forgot that one thing. But here we are at Persephone, and looking at, we do have a job we can work here. It's an illegal job right at Persephone. But what I'm going to do first is I want to do some buys, because there are things at Persephone that I think will come in handy when we're trying to misbehave. So let's go back to the map here, and we'll take a look at the Persephone deck and see if there are some things we want to purchase before we go misbehaving. So I basically put the Persephone deck here on the board. I apologize for the glare. My lighting here is giving me some bad glare. I hope it's not too terrible. The 3 cards in the discard right now are a very fine hat. It counts as fancy duds. It costs 1,000. We have the hacking rig, which also costs 1,000, and we have an accountant cooking the books, and he has a tool symbol and diplomacy, and he costs 300, and he's also a grifter. I don't think we're going to bother looking at him. However, I am quite interested in the fancy duds and the hacking rig, but you can look at 3, so I'm going to take the top card off. So now we have a transport as well. Wow, those are all really good things, and they're not one-time deals either. You know what? I can only buy 2 though, so I have to decide. I think I'm going to discard the fancy hat. I'm going to take the transport, and I'm going to take the hacking rig, and that's going to cost me 2,000. So we'll go back to the ship, and we'll put them in our stash, or we'll put them aboard the ship. They don't actually go into the stash. So that was our buy action. So I'm just going to take the hacking rig, and our four-wheel drive mule transport and just have them available here. Now that's going to cost us a couple $1,000, so we'll pay that to the bank. And also, when we are doing a buy action, we can buy fuel for 100 and parts for 300. We've already used up 2 fuels, so I'm going to be a big spender. I'm going to spend $500, and I'm going to pick up 5 fuels, just so we have lots of fuel to motor around the verse here, and we'll get the fuel put in here. Okay, the fuel's all laid in. We're sitting at Persephone. So we've done a fly action to get there, a buy action. And now, if we want, we can deal with Badger. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work a job. Then we'll deal with Badger afterwards. And we're going to work this job here. And it says misbehave to get paid. We do that first, and then it's cover your tracks. It says Badger needs a good talking to. And we also have a companion with us. So this job, we pull it off, we're going to be getting $3,500. That's pretty good. So the first thing we need to do is we need to misbehave twice. So we need to pass 2 misbehave cards. And how do we do that? Well, first one we look at, we have a run-in, I guess, with the local law. And we can bribe the local law, or we can go in guns a-blazing. If we look at our gun icons, Jane's got 2, our captain has 2, which would give us 4 on the dice, and then but if we add 4 plus what we roll on the dice and we get a 1 to 7, we kill a crew and we get a warrant issued against us, and it means this job goes sour, and this is a patience job. So I think we're just going to go the bribe route. Money talks. And basically what it means is for every $100 you spend, you add +1 to your die roll. Now right now we have 2, 3, we have 3 to start with to make this check, and we need an 11. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend, big spend, I'm going to spend $600, and that is going to give us 3 plus 6, a 9. So basically, if I roll a 1, we're going to mess up the job. If I roll anything higher than a 1, we proceed. So we rolled a 5. Well, basically what happens is we bribe the local law enforcement. So I'm going to keep this card right here. That is the first one of the misbehave cards that we have successfully. So we're 1/20th of the way to winning the game. And I have a second misbehave that I have to do. So let's see what that is. And the second misbehave is an alliance patrol. It says identification, please. Now, had we had a fake ID, we would just pass this. Wow. So again, we need an 8 for each. This is not good. I think we're just going to have to hightail it out of here. Now, we have the transport, and so we can do that. Attempt botched means we can try the job again at the next turn. So I'm just going to do that. We failed on that one. It goes away. Now here's where part of the solo game I find a little confusing, because now we botched that job. We're sitting at Persephone. We've taken a fly action. We took a buy action. We took a work action. We can deal, and that job actually goes into our active jobs because we're trying to work it. And I guess we're going to look at Badger for 3 jobs because we're sitting here at Persephone. It's the last of our 4 actions for this turn. So here's 3 Badger jobs. I just took them off the top because we're really looking for these misbehave cards. And I have 1 job now left in my reserve, so I can take 2 of these. So let's take the hospital job, although we need fake ID for that one. And we need fancy duds for this one. Okay, let's take a little payback. We'll take this one, where we have to mess around with patience, and we'll take the one with the fake ID. Got a good payout, and it has 3 misbehave cards. We'll put the other one in the discard. Okay, so that we've done basically 4 things on a turn. Now here's where I get a little confused with the game as a solo play, because you can sit here now and not fly anywhere, and I can do all those things again and just not fly anywhere, and I guess we don't then go down a token. So that's where I find, and the thing is, you can do what's called a work action on a planet, which means you just sit there and you collect $200. Means you're basically doing odd jobs on the planet. So the odd thing I find in the solo game is they tell you to discard a token only every time you take a fly action. You must return a game length token. But what if I wanted to just spend 65 turns sitting in Persephone taking a work action at $200 a work action? I could sit here indefinitely and, you know, okay, I'm going to sit on Persephone and we're going to sit here for 75 years and I'll just collect all the money. So that's where I find a little bit of the solo game rules break down. However, I'm not going to do that. I am going to leave off right here now. We're trying to work this job. We botched it once, and botching means you get to try it again. If you get a warrant issued, it means it completely fails. And so anyway, that's the first, I guess, first 3 tokens gone. We're down, we only have 17 basically fly actions left for the end of the turn. Hope you get a little bit of idea of how the game is played. We got lots of fuel now. We still have some parts. We got 4 crew members, and anyway, we'll pick it up episode 2 next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see if we can get some more misbehaving cards dealt with in the next episode. Thanks for watching.